Yes.
Hold on.
Just put it on white. No, yeah. There you go.
Is
Now
this
it's on
better?
white.
No, that's kind of off. What about unplugging these?
The color keeps changing. It looks like you're in a dance hall or something.
Yeah, they have this light bulb that, look, see, it changes
Changes
colors. Yes, it's
Oh, so
very psychedelic.
not just my imagination. That is.
Yeah, no, it's the light bulb in here. How do you put it on white?
Yeah,
See, it's got a little remote that.
Oh no.
You can just put it on regular light. That'll be.
Yeah,
fine.
regular light. Did you put on regular
Yeah, all the
light?
light bulbs busted
Otherwise,
out.
it
At the moment.
primarily appeal to people who are stoned.
Did you want to unplug those? Maybe
I can't.
Oh no, we can blink.
Ow.
Yeah, it's a light bulb.
Okay. I
blinking.
don't know if I can put it on white.
Oh goodness.
Wait, unplug it and then.
Unplug it?
No,
Or turn
not
it
unplug
on?
it, but like turn the
Okay,
little.
The good news is this will attract more attention.
No, grab the thing you pulled. No, the thing
This,
you pulled.
pull it.
And then pull it back on. Then now it's
Okay.
on white.
Okay.
You
There.
look kind of normal at that.
Yeah, sort of. We're a little orange, I guess.
Can you move? I was going to say, can you move it in front of you instead of to the side?
Oh, move the light in
Yeah,
front.
so that it's illuminating your faces rather than your whole face rather than your side face.
Hang on.
Bleaching you out on the side, and
Just trying to.
it's like y'all are having a slumber
I
party.
guess.
Do you have a plug over here? We
The
can.
extension cord you're gonna have to use.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to move
She's
something around here to.
plugging on it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, here we go. All right, there. Let's see if that's better. There we go. Is that better? A little bit?
A little bit.
Put it on.
Put it where? I don't
Not the
know.
lamp. I wasn't talking about
You
the.
win
Okay.
no prizes on professional lighting. But
Yeah, we're not professional lighting photographers or anything. Definitely not. The videography for the beavers is not the best. We are definitely not videographers in this family. At least not for me, I can say. But now Haley, my oldest, is quite the TikToker. She loves TikTok and she's trying to get to those 20,000 followers or something. I don't know.
I'll have to look her up.
Yeah.
A lot of interesting young ladies, showing off their stuff on TikTok these days.
Yes. Never a dull moment with the beavers.
Anyhow, well, okay. This is Charles Lincoln with Lynette and Leah Beaver, who are in where are you these days? In North Carolina somewhere. You're in Charlotte. Is that correct?
Somewhere around.
Okay, you're in the greater Charlotte metropolitan area, which starts at the Atlantic and goes to the Appalachians. Anyhow, but we're here to talk about some events that took place in Georgia, and this has all the appearance of a mother-daughter slumber party, and so we'll be a little bit informal here. But Lynette, why don't you start off and give a little bit of background, and then I want to hear mainly from Leah today, because I've actually never had a 16-year-old on a podcast before. So you are the very first.
Wow. You should feel special.
Well, I feel special. I'm honored by your presence, because most teenagers are too busy having fun to talk about anything serious. So Lynette, tell us a little bit about the serious background here.
You want her to talk about
No,
it
you.
or me?
Well, I mean, whoever wants to start, basically.
You do it.
You want me to?
Yeah.
Okay, you were 12 or 13? 12? Yeah. Okay, so it was elementary school, right? The last year, fifth grade. It was the last year of elementary school, fifth grade in Georgia, and where we're living. And we'd actually lived there we moved there in 2016. And so we actually stayed there for 5 years.
Where were you from originally?
I'm from Ohio originally, but the girls were born in Georgia.
Okay.
I met my husband when I moved down because I moved down to Georgia in 96. And actually I married and then got divorced and then met my husband and then had the girls. So, but yeah, I've been in Georgia. I was in Georgia for, 20 years, but I'm from Ohio.
So 96 would be 25 years, so.
Oh yeah, 25. You have better math than I. 25 years. Oh my gosh. That was a long decade.
I'm in here.
Hey, it's Hannah. You want to come join us?
Sure.
This here is my little one, Hannah.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Three beautiful girls, I tell you.
This one here. This is Hannah.
Oh, hi, Hannah.
Can you say hi, Hannah?
Hi.
She actually doesn't have to say hi, Hannah. She can just say hi.
Yeah, don't say hi, Hannah. Yeah. But so that's a little pre-information about us, that we were in Paulding County, Georgia for 5 years. We moved there in 2016. And it was Leah's last year of elementary school. She was in 5th grade. And in May of 2017, there was a schoolgirl that went to the school counselor. But the reason she went was because there was some bullying that was going on. No.
Quiet one.
Yeah, you got a quiet one. There you go. The reason that she did that was because they had some bullying going on between the kids and things about slumber parties that she didn't get invited to, and they were teasing her and putting stuff on social media about her, and just a lot of bullying. And my husband and I both emailed administrators, counselors, principals, board superintendents of the entire county about the issue. And at the time, I was actually working as a preschool teacher, and I actually had a meeting with administrators in my preschool classroom where they called me, and I was like, this has gone on, and these kids, it's just bullying, and just it doesn't stop, and nothing's happening, and it's not conducive. She can't learn in an environment where other children are just bullying her. So, but towards the end of the school year, it was May, and this child went to the school counselor with her mother and lied about our family, saying,
tell us what you said.
Do what?
I just said, tell us what you said. I mean,
yeah, she lied about our family, saying that this Leah and her
little sister.
Yeah, the little sister, the one that was just here, my youngest one, that these two were showering with dad, and that he was being sexually inappropriate. And so it was a battle. It was very, very hard, because how do you prove a negative, right? How do you prove a negative? But it was, hold on there. Yeah. And so, and as a teacher myself, I completely understand about being mandated, teachers are mandated reporters, that if someone says something, of course, it has to be investigated, of course, because there are children out there who really are abused, and things really do happen in homes. Things really are going on. And so as a teacher myself, I understand that about children coming to me. Even I protected that when I was a teacher, which is why this was so hard for me, that all this happened, because my teaching career has been taken. I can't teach. My name and my husband's name, our names have been put on a child abuse registry, that we just, We didn't even do anything wrong. We're innocent. We're an innocent family that has been just totally assassinated in the family court system, financially, emotionally. So yeah, are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, financially, emotionally, mentally, it was very draining. And it was 2 years. They were taken in 2017 and we got them back in 2019. And here it is 2021. And even 2 years later, we finally got out of Georgia. So we're happy about that. Yay! Party. We're out of Georgia. But I mean, nothing wrong with Georgia. I think that's great. But Georgia was just not very kind to us. Georgia was not kind to the Beavers. So
Never say that
not happy with Georgia at this moment. But
let's since we've got limited time tonight, let's go ahead and let the girls introduce themselves and talk. Leah, you were here first, and I'd like you to talk about what you perceived and what you felt was going on.
Well, I'm 16 now. I was taken when I was 13 years old. And at that age, like, you know what's going on, but at the same time, you don't know what's going on. But like I was old enough to understand, but she was 3, I believe, and she barely understood what was going on. She was only 3 years old, and to her, she didn't know what was going on, and it was very traumatic for her. It was very traumatic for all of us. And I have PTSD from it. I think all of us have PTSD from it. But when I was taken, they took us away in a car, and my mom had to put us in the car, which was also very hard. And they would like say your goodbyes, and we was like, what the heck's going on? Like, are we gonna go back home anytime soon? We were just asking a whole bunch of questions, and we were in, believe 4 different foster homes, and the first one we really liked, but she was too old enough and she was retiring, so we had to go to a different one. And the second one, they had 3 kids also that were our age, but it wasn't like a very good home. We just didn't fit into that home. It was just, they were rude to my parents when we had visitations, because we had in-person visitations for I think like 3 hours every Friday, which were also very hard to leave them every Friday. Like, didn't get to go home to them, didn't say goodnight to them or good morning to them, didn't like get to do any school events with them. Which was also very hard. And then coming home with all A's and being like, I have all A's in school. I didn't get to come home and tell my mom, look, mom, I have an A in algebra. Like, it was very hard to do that, but I'm just very glad I'm home with her now, and I won't ever take anything granted for that.
Okay, what was your involvement in the actual investigation of the court proceedings? Did they
Well, I was not allowed to go in any of the court visits. I wasn't allowed to be in court. They didn't let me be in court. They didn't let me be involved in any of that.
Did they interview you out of court?
I mean, we had our own lawyers, and they would come out and talk to us, but it would only be like, the lawyer would barely see us. It would maybe be like once a month they would come see us. Like, they barely talked to us. We didn't know what was going on. They didn't let us know anything that was going on. We didn't know anything. They just kept us in the dark.
Haley, is that your name?
this is Hannah.
Oh, Hannah.
Hannah. Haley's the oldest. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't really have much to say because I don't remember half of it, because I was only like 3.
4, yeah.
Yeah, 4.
How old are you
And
now?
I'm 8 now, so it was like a long time ago. But all I remember is I was just playing, and then suddenly I heard a knock on the door, and then I was like really weirded out because I had no friends then. Because I was like alone. Nobody really talked to me except for my sisters. And now I have like a lot of friends. Like, I didn't have much friends. I only had 1, but we barely even talked. Not many people in the neighborhood. There were not many kids. If there was, like, some of them thought I was weird, and yeah, so I didn't really get it. But then
So what do you remember?
I remember when they knocked on my door, and then they told us to go in my mom's bedroom because they needed to talk. And then all I remember is saying like, "What's going on?" And I was talking to Leah and stuff, and just being really scared. And then they just said they just started crying, and then I was like really, really, really weirded out. Like I didn't know what was happening at all. I can't remember what was going on in my head. Like I was really, really didn't heard of anything. So then they took us in this car, and I remember everything. Like when she started crying and she just said goodbye, and then like we just
You mean me?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then like we just took to a new home. She didn't really like do anything about us. She was like really old, like Leah said, and she just let us do whatever we want. Really, like the bedtime. My mom wouldn't like do that. Like I had to sleep with my sister, and well, like she just didn't act like my mom at all. She just act like a friend's mom. And I was spending the night, and she never really told me to go to bed like my mom did. She just said, "Go to bed whenever you want," and I didn't get to go to bed because I was too worried. And then the next morning, about like 2 days later, I had to move to another one. There were a lot of kids there, yeah, but like I didn't really like really situate with them because I feel like I didn't really like them that much. They weren't my real sisters, but at least I had my sisters and we didn't get separated, but still.
She was talking about a different foster placement where they had siblings. That was like the third. That was the third.
Second.
Was that the second?
Second.
Yeah, then
Wendy was the third.
and then
I
we
thought there
went.
were four. So there were three.
And then
No, there were
there was
four.
four. And then
Yeah.
after Wendy, there was that Jessica girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Because
But
she,
like
yeah.
when she,
So she was the fourth.
Mhm.
Wendy was the third.
it was like 2
Gotcha.
years when I went to like 3 homes, and we never really got to get situated. And my favorite one was probably the third one. She was like really nice and really helpful. And when we got situated and she was really nice, and we finally liked her, we had to move to a different home. And then the third home, that was when I finally got to go home. But like, still, I didn't really. Someone's calling me. Don't worry about it. And well, like it just. She didn't really do. She was kind of mean. I didn't really like her. Like she took me to the daycare, and I hated it. But she didn't care. She didn't care at all if I hated it. She'd be like, "You go there and you stay there," and I would just like. So really, really, and then finally, when they were watching a movie, finally in the morning. She finally like said we get to go home, and well, like I wasn't really acting excited because I was just excited in my brain, but I didn't really get to act excited. But then I went to go pick flowers out of the backyard to give them, and then finally we went back to the foster care system, like and then I finally got to go home, and. At that time, we had a very old car. Like it wasn't the car that we had, and I had to sit in a booster seat because I didn't really. We had a booster seat. Like I said, it was a long time ago, but now it's been like 3 years, and I finally got to.
I want to introduce you all to a good friend of mine who's really much more of a specialist in family law than I am. This is Senator Jerry O'Neill from Montana.
How do you make the speaker work?
Jerry, I'd like you to meet Lynette and her two beautiful daughters,
I'm here.
Hannah and Leah. Can you see them? I mean, are you on? Jerry?
We can see him, but I think he's still trying to get the speaker to work.
I can hear him.
Yeah, we heard him a minute ago.
And then it shows you if you're muted or not.
Sorry about that, but I wanted him to just meet you all, and I think that he may be helpful. He's done a lot more in the family
I don't.
than I have.
Oh, and also the bad thing is they didn't really buy me anything barely. They didn't buy me toys like my dad does. Like they didn't let me have a phone. So I couldn't situate with any kids at all. Like I would
Can
just
associate, yeah.
Yeah. So I would just stuck playing board games.
Oh
And
my
then-
gosh, board games. What board games did you play?
I didn't really play board game, that's a statement. But like I didn't get to have electronics, and when I got home like the first year, maybe 2 years, they bought me a phone for Christmas. I forgot. Yeah, for Christmas, and they finally told me I got a phone. But to be honest, I'm surprised I didn't get a flip phone. It was like a really high phone, to be honest.
Okay, hang on. Hang on.
Jerry, are you there?
This month.
Jerry, you appear to be here to us. Can you hear me?
That's why I gave him some.
Earth to O'Neill. Earth to O'Neill.
You're waving in my face.
Okay.
Jerry,
Can't hear you.
Did you?
No? So no.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well,
We
anyway,
gotta love Zoom technology in the year of 2021, right? With Zoom technology.
I don't like Zoom no more. I like FaceTime.
Leah, I want to just ask you a question that's very important to me, because earlier today, your mother sent me some court papers. The court papers basically say that you were like kind of the chief witness for the prosecution here. Did you know that?
No.
They talk a lot about you. Were you at all enthusiastic about leaving your?
There.
Oh.
He's pretty good.
I think that's Jerry's son
Which one?
in the background.
Happy. Excited.
Jerry, are you with us yet?
Even I know.
Yes, I'm with you. I can
She
finally-
said even
they-
I
they-
knew
they-
that. Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, Jerry, did you hear my introduction earlier? The
No,
mom-
I didn't. Yeah, it must have been a wonderful introduction, but I missed it.
Well, Jerry O'Neill is a retired state senator in Montana, and he is just one of my best friends in the world. He is a great advocate and counselor, and he has earlier today, Jerry, Lynette asked me if I had ever gotten a cash judgment against any CPS, and no, I haven't. I've gotten some custody changes. I've gotten some relief, injunctive relief, but I've never won a cash. And I just want to explain that Jerry is here because he once won $1 million judgment, not exactly against CPS, but against the Catholic Archdiocese of the state of Idaho.
It wasn't exactly the Catholic Archdiocese, but anyhow, as long as he's building me up, it must be right.
Well, okay, who was it? I thought it was the Catholic Archdiocese.
It was a Catholic Church of the Tridentine Latin Rite. And Bishop Francis Schuckart.
Okay, yeah, I remember the name Schuckart in the case, but anyhow, that's Jerry. In other words, Jerry has had more success as far as monetary damages than I've had, and I think basically, even though that judgment was modified several times, it basically paid for his kids through college. So I just wanted Jerry to get to know you all, and specifically to hear the kids. But Leah, I want to go back to you right now and tell what was your actual involvement in the case. I mean, did people talk to you? Did anybody talk to you at all?
Anna, what are you doing? No, don't touch it,
okay.
sweetie. Don't touch it, okay, baby? We got it. Okay?
I can't
I'll
really
have to
see
send David down there to get it going again.
Yeah, I guess it's my laptop that it's not very, the sound is, your sound is definitely better than Charles. So Charles is very soft, his voice. We can't really hear him very
Oh, really?
loud. Yes. Are you able to make yourself louder at all?
Let me see. I mean, I've got I've got a fancy mic here, but
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's operating. I'm trying to turn the volume up. Does that help at all?
Hmm, not
No?
really. Yeah, we
Where are
can hear
you,
Jerry really well. Jerry, we can hear you good.
where are you at?
We are in South Carolina now.
Oh, okay.
Yep. We used to live in Georgia.
Okay. So I got snow on the ground here.
Lucky. I love snow. I'm actually from Ohio, so I love the snow.
You can
I
make
do like
snow.
snow because I grew up around snow.
It was Brian Kenter who originally introduced me to these folks. Did you know him in Ohio?
No, he just happened to be from Ohio. It's just a very small world, a very coincidence that we met him at a Nancy Schaefer rally. There was a Nancy Schaefer rally that my husband and I went to as a tactic to try to get our kids back because I was desperate to get out in the media and talk to people and meet some advocates and meet some people that could really just make some connections or just do something to make a difference to get my kids back. I mean, I really did not think that it would take 2 years. It was it was definitely the longest 2 years of my life. Definitely the longest 2 years of my life.
She had to pay a lot of money.
Yes, we did. We spent about $60,000.
Oh my God. But
It
Leah,
shouldn't be that way.
What's that?
It shouldn't have to be that way.
Well, right. I mean, but we happen to be fortunate because we're a middle income family. But, for people that are, lower income or, low that don't have the means or the wherewithal, it's just really hard. I mean, it's they target those that they think won't, they don't have the money to fight back or they don't, and it's just really sad. And we're just a family that my husband is a Marine Corps veteran, so he's a combat veteran, and he was served in Afghanistan and in Iraq, and I just happen to be very a hard-headed, stubborn person. So I was like, "You're not taking my kids. You're not adopting my kids." You gotta sit still,
You're
baby.
neat.
Well, you're just a wiggle worm today, wiggle worm. But I'm actually adopted myself. I was adopted as an infant. So adoption is very personal to me that, sure. I mean, there are incidences where there are children that should be adopted because they're not in a good home or whatever. But me being adopted as an infant, I was physically abused as an infant, as a baby.
After the
So I
adoption?
remember things.
After the adoption or before the adoption?
What?
You were abused before the adoption or
Yeah,
after?
before. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
I was an infant. I had a skull fracture as an infant. So I was taken as an infant. So the infants are usually, the ones that they love, because they love to adopt out the infants.
right.
But yes, but see, my situation was actually needed because I had a skull fracture as an infant. And so I was taken from my parents and they tried to fight to get me back until I was 6. And my parents got the adoption. The adoption was in Ohio. The governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, he is actually the lawyer that was on my adoption case when I was adopted. He was my dad's lawyer. So
Okay.
when he was a lawyer, he was the one that got my adoption to go through. And my dad actually flied in social workers and all kinds of people to testify to get my adoption to go through. So, I mean, the topic of adoption is definitely very personable to me. So that's
Mhm.
that's another reason that I fought so hard about getting my kids back, is because, I was adopted. I'm a mother. I'm a good mother. And you know,
What was their
wa-
excuse? Well,
they really didn't they really didn't have any kind of, I don't even know why it drug out for 2 years like it did. I mean, we went through case plan after case plan and evaluations and tests, and my husband took lie detector tests, and we went to parenting classes, and we went to all kinds of things. I mean, it was just, we were really put through the ringer.
what was their excuse in the first place when they took the kids out of the home?
So the reason was because this Leah right here, this one.
Lynette, this is the first time I've met Leah, and I'd really like to ask Leah if she knows, before you say what the case is about, if she knows what the case is about. Do you have any idea why you all were put in foster care?
I do.
Okay, I mean, can we discuss that right now, Lynette?
I mean, I just associated with the wrong group of people, and
But do you know what we said?
well, I didn't say it. She said I said it, but it never happened.
Okay, Lynette, I mean, you're looking very serious and dark here. Is it okay if I ask Leah these questions? Because I mean, you sent me these papers earlier, and I mean, I am
I mean,
fascinated.
I have questions about the gag order that they,
I'm not
that they
worried
put a
about that.
gag order on us. How does
I'm
that
worried about-
even?
I haven't seen the gag order, so I don't think you sent that to me, did you?
I couldn't find it. I was
Right,
trying to
well,
find it.
Well, I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is you as a mother. Is it okay if I talk to Leah in particular, since Haley doesn't?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay,
Mhm.
I just wanted to clarify that because, we're doing this is a public discussion, and I want to make sure that everybody's okay with this. But I'm looking at this court order, and Jerry hasn't seen it at all, because I just invited Jerry before we got started here. Because I really rely on Jerry's insight in a lot of ways. But I've been very concerned about children's freedom to speak and their ability to be involved in these decisions. And I just want to read this, and then I want to get Leah to comment. The court I take it, you said that the court did not hear your testimony, right, Leah?
No, they didn't.
Okay, but the court did hear testimony from a different child whose name was Kylie Martin. Do you know Kylie Martin?
I don't like her.
Would have it made a difference if the court had heard your testimony?
I think it would have made a big difference.
Okay.
Kylie is in the same classroom with Leah at Scoggins Middle School. Kylie did not invite Leah to Kylie's party.
It was elementary school.
Okay, it says.
Yeah, elementary. Okay, correct.
Mr. Beavers alleged that Kylie and the other girls in the class were actively bullying Leah. The school administrator became involved in the situation. Kylie testified that she told her mother that Leah came to school recently and told her that she showered with her father and that her little sister, who I guess is sitting on mother's right side and is just adorable. Does she know these charges? Does she know what has been
He
said?
does
about her?
not.
No, she's,
Do you want her to leave the room when I read this?
yeah. Why don't you go out in the room for a minute?
But
Hannah?
then come back, because
Yeah, I'll tell you when to come back for a minute. Just stay outside the door and go shut the door. Okay. Okay. Yeah. There you just, yeah. Shut the door. There you go.
Okay, because this is just amazing.
Yeah.
Kylie testified that she told her mother that Leah came to school recently and told her that she showered with her father and that her little sister, lovely Hannah, who was now at that point 5,
Still
Four.
four.
She was 4.
4, sucked her father's private parts. And a court made this finding and said it was true. There was no objection to this hearsay testimony by counsel for the father. There was your father's lawyer, a licensed attorney in the state of Georgia, I presume, did not object to this. Therefore, the hearsay has been included in this court's findings of fact. Mrs. Beavers confirmed that in response to a message through the internet on Instagram that the father took the mother's phone and responded to this 10-year-old child and called the child a devil, a demon child, and stated that the Beavers intended to sue her. Did you know any of this?
I did not.
You see, I hate, this is part of my passion about this kind of issue. I hate that these things go on that basically determine the course of your life and that you're protected from knowing the truth that's being put into your mouth. And this is the way family courts operate throughout the United States, not just in Georgia, not just in Texas, where I've had to deal with it, not just in California, where I've dealt with it, but all over the United States. Our courts lie for the purpose of breaking up families. Anyhow, is any of this true, by the way?
No, it's not.
No.
How old were you at the time? How old was this other girl?
I
12.
was I was 12. She was 12
11.
too. And then
No. The girl who was allegedly sucking her father's private.
No. The one that
made the
report.
report, she was 11.
How do
That made the false
11-year
report.
How do 11-year-olds know enough to even lie like that?
that's what I
That's what we were thinking too. We thought, yes, we had that same question ourselves.
It's on television. It's in classes.
The
I've never
internet
seen
is very,
Yeah, I've never seen that on television.
It is on television, Jerry.
I suppose it is.
It is on children's television, for that matter.
Captain Kangaroo, huh?
Captain Kangaroo is dead and gone away.
No. Okay.
I mean, we live in a very different world today than the world of our childhood. And these children are basically in an amazing world. Anyhow, Kylie's mother, Melissa Martin, also testified. Ms. Martin confirmed Kylie's testimony and her response to Mr. Beaver's text message. Additionally, Ms. Martin testified to the father's message to Kylie on Instagram in that he called her a devil and a demon child and was going to sue Kylie. Ms. Beavers confirmed that, in fact, Mr. Beavers sent the Instagram message to Kylie, the 10-year-old child. Detective Lenny Carr testified about the sexual abuse allegations. Detective Carr is an approved forensic interviewer. Based on his education, experience, and training, he was qualified by the court as an expert in the area of conducting forensic interviews. Detective Carr conducted such an interview on the girls Hannah, age 4, who just left, and Leah, age 11, several weeks ago. Usually the procedures are that the interviewer first attempts to build rapport and trust with the children. Do you remember this guy?
I do remember him, yes.
Okay. Did he build rapport with you?
did he build a relationship with you?
No, we didn't. He did not try once to build a relationship with me. He talked to me barely, maybe 5-6 times the whole 2 years. He barely came and talked to me. My lawyer barely came and talked to me. The only person that came and talked to me was my caseworker. But even when she came and saw me, she didn't tell me nothing about what was going on in court. I would even ask questions about it. She would not let me know what was going on in court. She would not let me know how much longer it would be. She would not let me know what was said and what was done in court. I asked to testify. I did. I asked to be in the stands. I asked to be there. And my answer that I got was told no, that I'm not old enough to be on the stands. Now, I was not eligible to be.
Kylie was the same age as you, right?
Yes, she was.
She was old enough and you weren't.
Apparently, yes.
Right.
what I'm thinking is they were scared to say or to hear what I was going to put out there because they know that I wasn't true. So they were trying to find every possible way to just have a reason to have us took.
There's equal protection under the law. 2 12-year-olds, 11 or 12-year-old girls, and one is allowed to testify because her testimony is convenient for the government and the other one is not. Anyhow, usually the procedures are that the interviewer first attempts to build rapport and trust with the children. However, in this case, each child, ages 4 and 11, immediately offered up using adult language. What kind of adult language do you use? That there had been no sexual abuse, and then told him about the shower schedule for each person in the home. Hannah also offered up that she could not tell the policeman if something ever happened to her because they will take her sisters away. Did this happen? Did Hannah say anything like that? I mean, do you want to invite her back to ask her if she ever said anything?
I
I
can
don't
speak
think
for
she'll
her,
remember.
but she was young,
She was
very,
only
very young.
4.
She was scared. And I think they were pressuring her to say stuff that they wanted her to say because the stuff that they said she didn't say because I was always with her. I
Okay.
never left her side. The only time I left her side was to go to school. That's the only time we left each other. Any other time we were always beside each other, always with each other. We never left each other. We were always together.
Did this ever happen? Hannah also offered up that she could not, and this is now a quote, she could not tell the policeman if something ever happened to her because they will take her sisters away.
She never said that.
Detective Carr testified that neither child made a disclosure during the interview and that it was evident that the children had been coached about what to say. Did your parents or anyone else coach you what you were saying back then?
Nope. Mm-mm. Nope.
Are they coaching you now?
Nope. I say what I say, and if I say what I say hurt somebody's feelings, oh well. I said what I said.
The court heard testimony from Ms. Teresa Lehman, the mother's half-sister from Ohio. This kind of bothered me. Who is Ms. Lehman?
She is my biological half sister. So because she's my real half sister, there's some angst involved there because I was taken and adopted out, and she and my sister had to stay in the home where there was actual abuse going on. So she has some resentment towards me because she continued to be abused by our father after I was adopted.
Ms. Lehman testified by telephone. There was no objection to the method on her testimony, but rather there was an objection to the relevance of her testimony. After argument by counsel and after hearing the proffer by counsel for the department, the court determined that the information this witness had was relevant to the issues at hand. Ms. Lehman testified that prior to the start of this case, on the morning of Juneteenth, 2017, that Ms. Beavers sent her a text and asked Ms. Lehman not to say anything bad about Jack Beavers. Did that happen, Lynette? Did that happen?
Well, yeah, I did tell her that because I knew that she and my husband that they were bad, that she didn't like him. So yeah.
Okay. Ms. Lehman testified that when Leah was about 4 years old, Mr. and Ms. Beavers came to her home for the Christmas holidays. Ms. Lehman could not recall the date. However, if Leah was 4 years old, it had to be the Christmas of 2009. This was the first time she met Mr. Beavers. Shortly after the family arrived, Mr. Beavers wanted to take a shower, and he and the mother began arguing about Mr. Beavers wanting to shower with Leah.
Oh, cute dog.
That's why I keep going away from the TV because I had to let him out. And now he wants something to snack.
Mrs. Beavers, hi Toby. Toby's been to New Orleans.
Oh,
Uh, Shortly after the family arrived, Mr. Beavers wanted to take a shower, and he and the mother began arguing about Mr. Beavers wanting to shower with Leah. Mrs. Beavers was arguing that he should not take a shower with Leah. Ms. Lehman heard this argument. Later in the afternoon, Leah was laying across Mr. Beavers' lap, and he was rubbing her across her buttocks over her panties. Ms. Lehman observed this. Shortly thereafter, Ms. Lehman, Ms. Beavers, and the girls were leaving the house to go shopping. Mr. Beavers advised that Leah was going to stay with him. Ms. Lehman refers to let Leah stay at home with Mr. Beavers, and she insisted that Leah go shopping with her and the other girls. Due to what Ms. Lehman had observed, she shared her concerns about the things that she heard and saw with the mother. Ms. Beavers denied that there was anything going on. Ms. Lehman said, and the mother never discussed the matter again. Okay, talk to me. Talk to Jerry. Tell us tell her what this is all about. Leah,
well, like I said, basically she's my real biological sister. That
I don't really care about what her motive.
what do you mean about all that? About what happened? What?
Leah, let's put it this way. Can you describe your relationship with your father?
Me and my dad have a great bonding relationship. We have always had a good relationship. I mean, we have fights here and there. Yes, we do. I mean, father and daughter, they fight, they argue. It's normal. But at the same time, he's my dad and he always will be. And he's been there every step of the way. He's been to my school dances. He's met all of my boyfriends and have met, I mean, a whole lot of people that I'm friends with. And he tells me, hey, that person's not good to associate with. You shouldn't be associating with them like a father should. He has always been a good father to me. I mean, me and my dad have always had a great bonding relationship. And I remember that Christmas here and there. I remember some of it. Sometimes I don't remember it, but I do remember being there at her house. And if I'm being honest with you, she had a bar in her backyard. Her and her husband would get drunk and all kinds of things. And what she said was not true. I was playing with Barbie dolls in her living room. They had a pool table I would play with. They had backyard swings that we would play on. The times that I was with my dad would either be to sit there and watch TV with him or to eat dinner with him. So, I mean, none of what she said was not true.
Do you feel that your dad was or is or was ever sexually interested in you?
No, he would no.
He's never made you feel uncomfortable that way.
Mm.
And why do you think this happened then? Why?
Because I associated with the wrong people, and so the wrong people that I associated with got mad and decided to be like, oh, this is how I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to do. And they did what they did.
Are you guys gonna sue him now?
I plan on it.
That's really what this conversation is about, is trying to figure out. I mean, Leah's got 2 years before 2 years or a year and a half before you turn 18.
2 years.
2 years.
You just had a birthday.
I did in October.
Happy birthday. And so we're here talking about that. The oldest daughter isn't with us tonight. I hope to meet her sometime, but she'll be old enough to sue next summer, I guess. And basically, that's why we're here. We're here to try to figure out. I mean, they've dumped, frankly, so much slime on the parents that the parents are not in the ideal position to sue on y'all's behalf. And that's just a sad reality of life. I mean, your parents are facing a trial.
Not only do I plan on suing DFACS, I am going to try to sue Kylie and her family. I do, honestly.
Because, I mean, the obstacle, of course, is that you've got to deal with the fact that the court made all these findings.
Mhm.
Who's this?
This little guy right here is really the reason, because he's a future generation right there. This is a child we need to protect. And there are so many other children out there that need to be protected because it's supposed to be about the children, right? I mean, the whole thing is the children are supposed to be first. The children are supposed to come first.
The line is that the family courts act in the best interest of children.
Yeah, best interest of the child is gone.
Do you, and I'm just curious, Leah, do you feel that there was any positive benefit for you in any of this?
What was that?
Was there any positive benefit for you in any of this?
Not really, no.
How
I
would
mean,
you
I
describe-
learned not to associate with those kind of people.
Well, without going into, I mean, I think your mother wanted this to be fairly short, so I don't know if we want to go into details about what kind of people we're talking about. But we need to meet again, and I hope you'll be willing to meet again, so we can talk about.
Come here, Betty. Oh,
But what would you say you didn't know exactly what was being said in court and attributed to you? I'm telling you news, even though it's 4 years old. You know, this is interesting. And Jerry and I share an interest in reforming the courts. Not
I want to
just,
break the monopoly of the Bar Association. I think you should have had that way. I think with competition, you probably would have had a better lawyer. One that didn't bend over so far when they came after you.
well, we did a lot of it pro se because we got rid of the lawyer in the beginning. We had a lawyer in the beginning, but after that, we didn't have a lawyer. My husband did everything with his brother-in-law, who
When they allowed that other girl to testify, did you have the lawyer then, or your
yeah,
husband?
unfortunately, we had a very bad lawyer.
So the
It
lawyer,
did
the
not,
damage-
yes,
the-
we had a
the
very
dam-
bad lawyer, and that did not help us.
the
That
damage
ended
is
up
already
hurting
done.
us.
Yeah.
the order, Jerry, you weren't here yet when I was reading from the order, but the order expressly stated that there was no objection to Kylie's.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Here, okay.
She made the wrong objection is what it was. She did object, but instead of, she used the wrong objection. She used relevance as the objection instead of
That was to your, no, that was to your sister-in-law. Or to your
for my
house.
sister-in-law, right?
We're talking
Oh,
about Kylie.
yes.
There was no objection to Kylie at all. I mean, at the very least, if Kylie was going to testify, Leah should have testified. At the very
Mhm.
least.
I agree.
Yeah, it was bad lawyering skills all around.
I mean, that's like first year civil procedure. That means that she flunked one of her key classes in first year law school.
Yeah, she
Did
was
your-
not, yeah.
Did your
It
husband
was
go to jail?
no, there were nothing criminal from these allegations. My husband took a lot of lie detector tests and no, there were no criminal charges against this, but there are other criminal charges.
That's what I'm saying.
They're
state
still trying to
court-
criminalize us.
the state.
Are you gonna sue the psychologist that testified?
Was there a psychologist? I'm not sure that there was a social worker. Let me go back to the order because there's a
Well, there's some expert witness testified that
that was a detective. That's a cop who was certified as an expert. I mean, if they certify cops as experts, I mean, I should be an expert in every case. I mean,
Yeah, he was a detective. Yeah. Mhm.
that just.
well, I have a niece as a police, actually she's a retired policeman now, but I think she's certified in testifying on that stuff
Where's that? Is that in Montana or where's that?
in Montana.
Yeah, you never mentioned her.
I know. But yes, we would definitely love to do it again. And we could do a series literally because there's like lots and lots of topics. And this definitely went on for a long 2 years. So it's definitely not something you can clear up in an hour.
Well, but what's more is there is ongoing litigation, right?
Yeah, because we're still in court. Yes, well, that case is closed. This defacts, all that has been closed. The children have been home and the case has been closed. But there was another incident that happened in the neighborhood we were staying in that is a whole nother story. So that's, yeah.
Here's a question I wanted to ask you, and I guess we'll talk about this. I haven't asked Leah whether she really takes showers with her dad or not, but Jerry, to the best of your knowledge, anywhere in the United States, is it illegal or a crime in any sense for a parent to bathe or take a shower with his minor children?
Not to my knowledge.
I mean, I have to say, if it is, I'm guilty. I used to take my son skinny dipping, as a matter of fact, and we all had a great time. And I don't think that anybody ever objected to it on any front. And yet they make a huge deal out of that. I mean, so Leah, did you ever feel uncomfortable? If you did you take showers with your dad?
Mm-mm.
No?
No, I never took showers with my dad.
You're
I maybe
kidding.
took showers with my mom maybe once or twice, but that was when I was little, like little, like. And then after the age of 8, I took showers by myself
and
I bathed myself.
And I'm not mistaken. I think your mom's a girl, right?
Yeah.
I mean, well, these days you can't be so sure, right? I mean, she could be referring to herself by some other pronoun that I'm not sure about.
No, the pronoun. There's that pronoun
But
inference. Oh my goodness. The she, her pronoun.
The male chickens lay eggs. Okay.
but I mean, in other words, this whole thing is a lie. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, these are false allegations. All of this was false allegations. False, completely false. A lie against our family cost us $60,000 and 2 years of their lives and our lives to get them back from a cruel system that does not have the best interest of the child in mind.
I used to be the contact person for Vocal of Montana. That'd be victims of child abuse legislation. And there was about 200 people on my mailing list, and the majority of them said they were falsely accused of child abuse. And most of it sexual abuse. And that's Montana only had less than 1 million people in it at that time. So it's crazy. And I know a guy right now that's in prison. I think he's innocent. He'll probably be there for the rest of his life because he's not going to plead guilty to something he didn't do. And his wife was in the room when it supposedly happened, and the attorney didn't put her on the stand.
So he's sitting in jail as an innocent person. Yeah, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens all too often.
The court finds that the testimony of Ms. Lehman as credible, and although it is several years old, it is consistent with the recurring allegations that have been made against Mr. Beavers. It supports a finding, bad grammar here, it support a finding that the issue of showering with his girls was not a fiction, and it supports a finding that Mr. Beavers was at least inappropriate with Leah in front of the family that he met for the very first time.
That is so far from the truth, it's not even funny.
Although the parties were asked not to discuss the court proceedings or the allegations with the children, Mrs. Beavers advised that she did tell one of the girls during her family time visit that they had a surprise witness that would be in the court for the June 16th, 2017 hearing. When the court questioned Ms. Beavers about the conversation, she stated that she did not know that talking about a witness was a violation of the order not to talk to the children about the case, the court does not find this statement by the mother to be credible. The surprise witness turned out to be Amanda Beavers, even though Mr. Beaver had testified that he, on May 30th, 2017, that he did not have a relationship with older daughters, Amanda and Raven. Do you know any of these people, Leah?
I currently talk to Amanda right now. She currently has a new baby girl, but I do not talk to Raven. I believe she is in prison.
Oh dear. Okay. Amanda and Raven, he called upon Amanda to come and testify on his behalf. This court finds this very disturbing and finds that it must have been very traumatic for this girl, for this young woman. Okay, I just got a message from mom that she's got to go do something else. So, Leah, I want to thank you for being here, and I just want to say we've just opened up what I hope is going to be a long dialogue, and I want to talk to you and your older sister. And in the meantime, Lynette, may I suggest that you let these girls read these orders, because certainly Leah's old enough.
I was literally going to ask her when we got off here.
Okay.
Yeah, I can of course, I'll let them read it. It's about them, right? They
Yes, it
should be
is.
able to read it.
And if they're going to be filing suit, they need to be internalizing all this and thinking about it. And let's get together and talk about this again as soon as possible. It's 8 o'clock. Your mom has to go. And so, Jerry, thanks for joining us. And let's get back together as soon as we
Yes,
can.
it was so nice to meet you, Jerry.
Yeah, and I wish we could stop this stuff from happening in the future, but maybe we could slow it down some.
We'll try. We will try. Good night, everybody. It
Good
is.
night. Glad to meet you.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you.
God
Okay.
bless. I hope to see you all.
God bless everyone. Okay, thanks.
Well, Jerry, what do you think?
I think it's a bunch of crap what they're doing, the courts are doing.
Is there any explanation other than an intentional plan to destroy families?
I hear rumors that the Child Protective Services get so much money for every child they take away from the family.
Yeah, because the language in these orders is they are dependent and entitled to services.
Right. Well, they get a bonus. They get a bounty on them.
Yeah, because the state gets to call these people wards of the state, dependent upon the state. It is basically.
They get federal money from it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, exactly. The states get subsidy. They get paid, in other words, to take children away from families. And
I don't know if Family Court Services or Family Protective Services, Child Protective Service, I don't know if they're immune from suit or not in Ohio.
Well, this was in Georgia. This was in Georgia.
Or in Georgia even.
They're immune everywhere. I mean, they're actually covered.
Not necessarily.
Well, pretty much they're covered. The immunity is provided in Title 42 because they're designated as agents, basically.
Well, in Montana, you can sue a policeman. In Montana, the state is not immune from suit. Our Constitution allows.
But the difference is that all these family courts procedure and the Child Protective Services and everything, those are part of Title 42 of the federal code. Those are set up and funded.
So you can't sue them as federal court, but you might go sue them as state court.
There is one famous case recently called the Hardwood Case out of California where you can prove the crime of perjury against Child Protective Services, where you can prove the crime of perjury, there is no immunity. But basically, in other words, they're for discretionary abuse, even where they make bad decisions, they have immunity for that. But where they actually commit crime, such as lying in court, lying under oath, There is.
Well, Montana passed a law when I was in the legislature to say that you couldn't take a social worker or whatever, expert witnesses, the social worker, I guess, their license away from them for what they testified to in court. And I objected highly. I got some people to go along with me, but the majority went along with it.
No, so I don't understand. They were immunized from perjury then?
The social worker would not lose her license or his license for saying what, like this social worker here, or the police detective, or whatever she was, for saying that the children must be telling the truth. I've talked to the children, and the children was telling the truth.
Okay, but that's a discretionary evaluation then of the evidence, right?
Right.
But what if the cop or the social worker lied and made up something that simply never happened?
Well, you'd have to prove it, but yeah. I don't know. In Montana, they probably would still be, you couldn't go against their license. I'm not sure you couldn't sue them, but you couldn't go against their license.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very interesting case, is all I can say.
You have a hard time proving that, that police officer lied.
It's so intrusive. I mean, basically you're putting cops and judges in the position of evaluating the details of people's everyday life at home. And somebody, somehow, if this is all accurate, while both the father and the mother deny that they ever spoke to the children prior to the interview, this just cannot be true. The mother testified that the girls must have overheard her talking about the allegations. If so, the mother should not have been talking about the allegations when the children were in range of her conversations. But for the interference by the parents, Leah and Hannah would have been able to tell the truth about what is actually going on in the Beavers' home. The court finds Kylie Martin's testimony credible. Kylie had no way of knowing about the past allegations made against Mr. Beavers. In fact, there was no indication that she knew anything about the Beavers household. As a result of Leah's outcry, I guess that means Leah's outcry to Kylie, which they made up, the allegations were reported to the Department of Family Services. Jerry, what do you think? I mean, should the courts have the power to operate on such flimsy evidence?
No, I don't think so.
How would you stop it? I mean, what's the remedy?
Break the monopoly. Get some good turning. I'll be right back.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I suppose I believe that what we need to do is we need to break the power of judges, because basically this judge in this case was the one interpreting and making up everything to fit a narrative that was going to result in these children being taken away from the Beavers.
Well, you could make a difference, but if you allowed everybody to testify and you had a jury trial.
Okay, so really the issue is not just better lawyers or a competitive legal system. The issue is taking away the power from single judges and putting it in the hands of the jury, because a lot of I feel like this judge, I'll send you a copy of this order if you want to read it for future,
Sure.
for future reference. But I feel like this judge was basically thinking, how can I make the state's case as strong as possible? And he was basically, I mean, he's probably I get the impression from the way lawyers talk about Title 42, the child support provisions, child services provisions, that basically the whole system, the states are hungry for this money. They're anxious to get it, and they're anxious to take control away from parents and put it in the hands of bureaucrats. And think about the 2 years that these kids had. They didn't go to a pleasant place where they could relax. Even if, let's say these allegations were true, they were with 4 separate foster parents in a period of 2 years. Think what a horrible life that is for kids, basically being bounced around from family to family. And of course, the family.
4 separate homes or 2 separate homes?
4 separate homes in 2 years. 4 different families, 4 different foster families. And so, I mean, that's a form of welfare, right? The government is paying these parents to take foster care of the children, and yet for the kids, it's just an astounding interruption in their lives. I mean, Leah was saying that she got A's and B's, and so it didn't destroy her schooling. Her schooling apparently continued fairly well. And I mean, I don't think we sent Hannah out at one point because I didn't want to be discussing the idea that she, at this stage, would hear for the first time from me that there are court papers saying that her sister said that she was sucking her father's dick at the age of 4. At the age of 4. I mean, if that was true, it would be so monstrous, it would be so disgusting that, if it were true, I'd want to go over and do something nasty to the father myself.
Well, that's what the legislature show when they make these stupid laws. They'll allow anything in order to convict supposedly child molesters.
Yeah, this is what we were looking at in the Andrew Bolts, Brian Kenter situation, is that the witch trials are still going on. Yeah, and they're a nightmare. They're an absolute nightmare. Anyhow, you got to hand it to Lynette. They've been ruined. We didn't meet Jack tonight. I've never met him. I've talked to Leah. I've talked to Lynette before, but their marriage has survived all this. But they're ruined. I mean, financially, they are ruined. They lost a home. They've moved several times themselves, and now they've changed states. I don't blame them.
No, I don't either.
And they still have ongoing legal troubles in Georgia they've got to deal with. But I mean, they're very brave people. They're very brave people who keep on fighting. And you can just look at their kids, and they've got beautiful, seemingly remarkably well-adjusted kids, given what they've been through. And I don't know. I'm kind of in a state of shock about all this stuff. And I mean, I guess the last family case I was actively involved in, I think the last one I can think of right now was in Texas, and the debate in that case, without naming any names, the case was whether the mother should speak about her strong suspicion that dad was sexually molesting his girls. And I mean, if it's true, it needs to be addressed. It's highly relevant. It's and in that case, the interesting thing was that she was afraid that she would lose all credit. The mom was afraid that she would lose all credibility with the court if she made allegations of sexual abuse against the father. And isn't that interesting? The flip side of it, that as dreadful as it all is, basically in family court, it seems like everybody loses, doesn't it?
Mhm. You need a good judge there. I don't know where you're gonna get 'em.
Well, I mean,
A jury, yes.
to the jury. I mean, that's really the only hope, because judges don't seem to be handling it very well.
No, once they get their mind made up, there's no change in it. The damage is done. Nobody's gonna talk to them and tell them, hey, we forgot about this part of it. With a jury, each jurors talk to each other.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And they come from different perspectives, so.
And from the perspective of other parents,
What?
I mean, a jury an ideal jury in a case like this would be composed of other parents and small children, a true jury of peers. I mean, I don't know. I've been horrified by family courts ever since I first encountered them. That's almost 20, 25, 26 years ago. And they are just, I really think they're the worst courts in the United States anyhow. I mean, criminal courts are bad. But I think in some ways the family courts, would you agree with that? Or do you think that what do you think the worst courts are?
What, divorce court?
I'm just wondering, which do you think are the worst courts in the United States? Do you hear me better if I've got the mic up close like
Yeah,
this?
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
But I suppose the family courts, were the ones that do child abuse things. They do a horrible job on it. Sometimes they must do right, but that seems a whole bunch of wrong done.
Well, I mean, there's the expression, even a broken clock is right twice a day. And then another one parallel to that is even a blind pig finds an acorn every once in a while.
Mhm.
But there's got to be a better way of resolving disputes in the family. And what would you think of going back to a system where we require families to sign contracts and basically debate the terms of a potential divorce before they ever get married, sort of to educate them? And do you think that would reduce the amount of divorce, and would it reduce the conflict that people have upon divorce if they were required to face all these issues before they ever happen?
I don't know.
See, that's the thought that keeps occurring to me, because in business, that's why they have contracts, right? They have contracts, long, complex agreements in a business, because they try to anticipate all the things that can go wrong. And so they try to create agreed strategies for what's going to go wrong in the future. And I don't know, I guess that works pretty well. And why wouldn't we want to encourage people to do that in the family world? Because it does seem like from ancient times on, from the earliest records we have of family litigation in ancient Rome and Greece, they relied on written contracts. And the contracts covered things like child custody, and even even custody of grandchildren. And they provided for support and everything else, all before anybody ever got married.
Well, in the early times, the father got the child normally. And then in, I don't know, sometime in 1930s or whatever, then it became a mother preference. And then I was one of the first fathers I know of to get custody of his kids. When I did in 1970, 72, someplace around there. There's mother preference at that time. But I didn't know that, so I got custody. But that was, and maybe we need to go back to father custody. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Worked better than mother. There was less divorces then. I don't know. Maybe it's better to have divorces rather than have a thing that nobody can get along with.
well, so
I think-
you don't think that we could go back to the ancient customs of saying the courts will not get involved except to the degree that there's a problem of contractual and interpretation or application, and that marriage would require a contract to be illegal.
Well, right at the moment, about half the children are born to unmarried people. So how are
Okay,
you gonna have a
sure.
contract for an unmarried couple? Put it in the bathroom of the bars?
Well, I mean, I guess it's an interesting question. I mean, what if the court said, we don't care what you call it, but if you don't have a contract, we're not getting involved?
What are you gonna do with the kids? The babies?
Well, wouldn't it be then, would that not create a huge incentive to parents not to procreate unless they want to be responsible in advance? I mean, would that restore an old-fashioned sense of morality, say, for women, that they shouldn't get pregnant unless
Yeah.
they enter into
No,
a contract with somebody?
Well, if they do overturn Roe versus Wade, that might do the same thing.
It might. It might force a kind of responsibility that has been woefully absent for the past 48 years.
Now, when I was a kid, the girls were pretty sure to keep you away from them. They didn't. They're the ones that would stop the sex because they didn't want to get pregnant.
And because, as my grandfather used to say, the consequences for a woman were so horrible.
Yeah, well, they aren't anymore. They go get a pill and they're taken care of.
Yeah, it's I don't know. The state of the world is kind of scary. The state of the world is kind of scary. But anyhow, I guess we both got other things we got to work on tonight. But I want to thank you for joining me tonight, and I hope you'll come back and we'll have further conversations on family court and see what happens with these folks.
Today's Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday.
You're having a thing tomorrow.
I don't know. I hadn't gotten a notice by the time this started. See if I've gotten anything since it started. Usually,
Well, you have a tapestry to cover your fireplace.
it's a green screen. It's a green screen. It's a mosaic from ancient Pompeii called the House of the Faun. It does look better than the decaying fireplace behind me.
Okay.
I like ancient art. What can I say? Now I haven't heard anything from JB as of this moment. So I don't know if there will be a tax town hall tomorrow or not. I just don't know. Last week I was trying to get them to talk about the election issue. And I sent out another broadsheet over the weekend, but I haven't gotten anybody. I haven't been talking to anybody about that except for you. And what would be such a bad idea about calling the Attorney General and trying to make an appointment for January 6th?
I don't know. I guess I'd like something to present to him to set up the appointment before I set up the appointment.
Okay, well, let me get on it and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Or actually, we're still online right now, so let's sign off and maybe we should talk about it offline.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good night, Jerry.